Welcome everyone to Ecology Live. I'm Bushra Abu Halil. I am Vice Chair of the BAME Ecological Network, a new group to support ethnic minorities in ecology from around the world. So if this is your first time joining us, you are very welcome, and welcome back to all Ecology Live regulars. This is now our 6th talk in a series of 12 free online talks, so we're approaching the halfway mark. Wherever you are in the world, whether you're joining us live on Zoom or watching at a later time on YouTube, we have a treat for you today. The Ecology Live talks so far have been reminding us of how brilliant and diverse our subject is, why we all love ecology and what nature has to offer us. But our speaker today will consider how inclusive our science is and whether there is work to do to make ecology a truly global endeavour. First, we would like to thank Oxford University Press for sponsoring this whole season of Ecology Live. You can find details of an Ecology Live reading list they have put together, including exclusive discounts, on the slide at the end of this talk, so stay tuned to find out more. Thanks to Wildlife Acoustics for the wonderful soundscape at the start of this session. There are live subtitles available for this talk. You can use the closed caption or CC button at the bottom of your screen to toggle these on and off. This talk is being recorded and will be added to YouTube afterwards. You can submit your questions via the Q&A box throughout the talk. There's no need to wait until the end, and then there will be a short Q&A session at the end of the talk. Your questions can be named or anonymous, you decide. You can also upvote any questions you find particularly interesting in the Q&A by clicking the thumbs up icon next to the question. I'm now delighted to introduce our speaker, Martin Nuñez, who spent over 20 years in ecology and is also a senior editor of Applied Ecology. So Martin, over to you. You're on mute. Martin, you're on mute.
There. Hey, thanks, Bushra. So now I will share my screen. Are you seeing now it well? Looks good?
Yep, all good.
Great. So today we will talk about why ecology should be like a global endeavor and what we could do to make that happen. Like many sciences, like I don't have like a need of ecology to be global. No, for example, in the work of Copernicus, Newton, or Marie Curie, I don't see like an urgent need for them to travel around the world to see different sites. Their theories and ideas are developed in a single location. But in ecology, we have like different ecosystems in every corner of the world, and like different processes occurring there. For example, in the work of the work of von Humboldt, Darwin, or Wallace, we see a huge impact of their traveling, no, of them like seeing how things work in different ways, like the ideas that they propose that we are still working on, how nature works, were based on their observations in different parts of the planet, and that really like inform them and inform us. So like ecology on that side is very unique. But still, you know, like here I'm showing you a map of where ecology is mapped. It is done. This is a map like based on Web of Science. Researchers like map from where the like study sites are, and we can see that there's a huge, you know, impact from from areas like North America, Europe, and part of Oceania, no, and some areas like say Central Africa or Central Asia are not as represented. But there's a big bias towards some regions. Like, and I will give you like an example of this as a problem. This is like a life cycle of a butterfly of the Atridae family. This is like a typical life cycle, but in one stage of the life, these butterflies are able to eat like a super toxic plant, like that. They are the only insects that can eat them, And it's not that they can eat it, but they can also sequester chemicals that they can use to protect them against predators. I know a lot about this family, but historically we knew everything from one species, but if we learn in one site, in one region, North America. So like most of our understanding of this process came from one site. Researchers went to South America, like we was to National Park in Argentina, more than one of these species like occur, and they analyzed how toxic they were. To their surprise, they found that like many plants and animals were not toxic at all. What they thought first was that, okay, like the analysis was done poorly, the machine is not working, the samples were not preserved, so they redid that. Again, same results. Then they thought, okay, yeah, we collected the wrong specimens of the plants, were not corrected. I think, like, tropics is very diverse, it's easy to make a mistake. So other ran DNA analysis and they found the exact same thing, like it was right. These butterflies, like on plants, didn't have the chemicals. So they conclude that the paradigm from North America couldn't be applied to other areas. And this is like, I think like it's like an example of how hard it is to like change our mind. We learn something and then we try to apply it to other areas, and that's could be a problem. It's also like a problem. This is an idea that I work with my friend Daniel Pochard about applied ecology. Like how like management of like invasive species like will not be done equally like different parts of the world. There are, for example, like in New Zealand, they use like helicopters to track and kill pines. This in Argentina, like really impossible too expensive. But to show you like how widespread this problem is, like for example, this is a nice paper by Dan Americal and many collaborators showing how patchy sampling in the Arctic is. Here on this graph, you can see like the red areas that are really well sampled, and in blue areas that are poorly sampled, and white areas that information. And we see that our understanding of the Arctic comes basically for really a few sites. They conclude that like 31% of the citations say the information that we use for the Arctic come from only two sites, one in Alaska and one in Sweden. So like our understanding of the entire Arctic is super biased to sites that perhaps are not typical sites. So this is like a big problem. And here I want to introduce to the concept of global north and global south. Like the Arctic is the north, like there is nothing more north than the Arctic. And here we see that some areas, like some like Alaska or Scandinavia is really well studied, while areas like Russia is not. And also here the case of Canada, Canada is a classic wealthy country, but still the north part of Canada behaves a lot like the global south is not well studied. So this concept of global south global north is complex. It's very useful to talk about, but we need to keep in mind that it's not that like so simple of north and south. Like some countries are wealthy, others are not. Some part of some countries are wealthy, some others may not. So it's more about like privilege of some regions or some groups. So like some people like they found ways to solve this problem, which is great. We will like a global collaboration, we're collaborating with researchers from all over the world. For example, there are networks like we're going to cover it like the NatNet, like which produce a really amazing paper, and they like map and they like do like same experiment like different parts of the planet. As you can see, like it's not that some areas are still missing from this. Like it's and this is the same like from a network that I'm part of, the Soil Temp, like led by the amazing young researcher Jonas Lambridge. Like Jonas and others have done a really like huge effort to sample like from the planet. But still, some areas are missing, some areas are like overrepresented, like like another network that I'm part of is about like a mountain ecology. We hear also, you know, like mountains are in more parts than here, but still, you know, like it's very hard to get like a collaborator from some regions, no? Even I was the leaders of these three networks. They do a huge effort to do that. It's not easy, and they do like a good job. And some of the most amazing papers are coming from this type of network. No, we are like, I think a lot, but still, you know, we are not a truly global. How journals are doing, no? Like, as I was introduced, I'm senior editor of the Journal of Ecology, and a few years ago we did a survey on how like from where our papers were coming and how many we were accepting. No, it was no surprise to many, and really shocking to others. It was funny to get their reactions. Like we get most of the papers that we publish here in green are from Europe and followed closely by North America. And we get like a lot less papers from other areas. Like something here like to see is like the acceptance rates in some areas like Europe or North America are a lot higher than in other areas. So it's not only we get fewer papers in some areas, but we reject them more often. No, and the reason for that, but it's really like a food for thought. No, and you know what many of you are thinking, no, like this is the British society, you know, like British, they have a queen, all these kind of things. So we did this like with other journals. For example, this is a journal based on like invasive species, and as my friend Laura Meyerson, this is the obese America map, as she call it. That's funny. Like so we see like in this journal like huge influence from the US and also like Europe and Oceania are very large. So we see, you know, like a skinny part of the planet and others are pretty large. So we did this. I was working like on a paper, like I use many journals, like there were journals that are in Simago, in Scopus. We see the same. Some areas of the planet are very, you know, like large, and others are very skinny, you know, like you have like to like recognize the shape of Asia here, you know, like we publish a lot more from some regions and a lot less from others. And this is a problem. It's not purely altruism that I'm asking you here, no, like a problem of unfairness. Some areas of the planet like have solved problems that are ecological, and we're not learning about them. Like we need to know how the world works, not only how like a subset of the planet works, and this is really important to remember. I really like this motto of the BS, working for a work, working towards a world inspired, informed, and influenced by ecology. But it should be the entire planet, not just a subset of the planet. No, we need to work towards like a global, truly global science. So here some colleagues that we are now working on a paper. We really like develop some barriers that could explain why this happened. The first barrier is language. No, there's a lot of papers on this and a lot of discussion. Like basically our difficulties like in communication. No, and English as a barrier. English is a main language of science. I'm giving you this talk in English. I don't know if you noticed, but it's not my native tongue. And you know, like, but still, it's a barrier. There are many nice papers. For example, the ones by Atatuya Mano on this problem, like showing the problem, or a more recent one by Elena Angulo and others, showing how like ignoring papers in other language, it can be a problem. And I will give an example that was like really eye-opening for me. I was asked like 2 years ago to write a paper on the economic impact of like invasive species in Argentina. No, like I was part of the INVACOS team, and many papers from some areas, and they needed like papers from other areas to make it more global. So it sounds amazing. No, so I did what they do best. I went to Web of Science. I put the perfect keywords. I spend some time looking for the ideal keywords, asterisks, everything, like perfect. After 2 hours or more, I got 5 papers, and you cannot write a paper with 5 papers only. So what I did, I enlisted all the Argentinian colleagues and from other areas. I will make like a broader search, including what people call white papers, gray papers, and papers from journals, for example, Ecology Austral, which is like an amazing journal for Argentina, publishing top science, mostly in Spanish. So this research was mainly was actually all in Spanish. I got 60 papers, 12 times more. It wasn't a 20% increase. It was 12 times more. And of course it makes sense after you do this. If you want to report the cost of an invasive, because you want people to respond to that, to make changes, So you aim at local managers or politicians, and they will not read in English, and they will read in Spanish. So all this a really good science is done in Spanish. So we should do a bigger effort to seeing what is done in other languages, and also making the life easier to people that want to share information in English. English has become the main language of science. So people like myself and others that are not native speakers, really struggle with English. English is very easy to speak a poor English, but it's super hard to speak a nice English as soon as once. After talking with many colleagues, we came up with the idea that the ideal solution for this is we have a free editorial service that will fix the English for most people, that are not native. I don't know how easy is that to implement, but that we have a solution. I don't it costs money, but probably we'll get there soon. The other funding, a problem is funding and infrastructure. This is a very big problem that is clearly beyond most individuals. Some areas of the world don't have money or infrastructure to do science. And here I want to introduce the concept of helicopter science. This is the historical type of research. A scientist from wealthy areas came to poor areas and got data, everything, and live and with no or little involvement of locals. And this is a problem. Not something that now we understand as a good thing. And here I want to notice that not only, for example, people from UK or the US going to Argentina. It's also there's a big variation in wealth within countries. For example, here I am in Bariloche, and we have hundreds of researchers. So in a way, we're a pretty wealthy comparison with other parts of Latin America. So perhaps it's not only about wealthy countries going into poor areas. It's also about different sites. There's a huge variation in knowledge and wealth around the world. So here the idea would be to do something that they call inverse helicopter science. Instead of leaving nothing in the place where you leave a lot. You leave tools, materials, proposed collaborations with the locals. So that could be a really awesome solution that individuals like you guys or me could do. This shouldn't come in the form of charity. It's not. I know that we are being nice and generous. We need this. The world need this information. We need all to work into to make that happen. And we should, for example, give opportunities of leadership research. Having as a goal to a paper is great, and it could be something important. But giving the chance of leadership to be even more important. So we should keep all these options open. The other problem which is similar is about the cement of the planet don't have enough researchers. So for that again, you can do what they call this inverse helicopter science, which can be really important. For example, and this is my personal case, from Bariloche, like an area that we put researchers, but we have like few like scientists like here like Adam Simbolov, which is like a really well-known ecologist like working like on invasion. I was an undergrad and I was his field assistant. He invited me to be author of the papers that came from that project, and later I became his like student, like in the US. I'm pretty sure that I will not be giving this talk to you guys if I didn't have that chance there. So other problem is conscious or unconscious biases. Some people of groups like have more chances of publishing or getting grants. Another, and this is just based on last names, on locations where these people is. So here you can do training biases or have like mechanism to avoid them. Now, for example, my favorite one for journals, you have like editors from many different parts of the planet. So like with that, you can avoid biases. No, so yeah, we should work to avoid biases. Different like a topic less talk about is difference in research culture. No, like other different parts of the planet have differences in like reward systems, styles, and time availability to do science. So this can be like a pretty like complex barrier. Now people communicate in a different way, have different goals. So to collaborate, that we must do that. We need to like practice our patience, understanding, and empathy, and this go like both ways. People from more like privileged areas and people from like more like less privileged should do that. So we are not like in the 19th century anymore. And that's great from an ethical standpoint. It's amazing, you know, like in the last 100 years, like we have like many like amazing progress in society. But and our science is also like a real advanced, you know, like since the time of this amazing researcher. But like in many ways, we are still, you know, like we don't look like 21st century so much. Like for example, as I was telling you, like 70% of the papers come from 7 countries. No, that's pretty strong. No, like not that we're doing so well on this. What we can do? There is roles for different like groups, you know, like from individuals to countries to societies to journals. But like I know people like individuals are listening to me. So and I think that we have a huge impact on societies and journals. You know, we are the journals. We are the authors, the reviewers, the editors. We have a lot to say on that. So like what happened in journals is all on us. You know, like how we can do like huge changes. It's also important to remember that like some of these changes will take more time, than others. And some changes can be done at the level of the individual, and others about you know the countries of the national government. But as I was telling you, like changes in journals or in the way that we do science could be pretty quick. You know, we can change that like I would say like months or years. Perhaps funding or infrastructure like in some areas will take more time, but there is a lot that we can do now. No, if we agree and we decide. So like I feel like a really good chance of making like a good progress like very fast. I think that the first thing is to acknowledge the problem in Twitter and also in your papers. No, in Twitter it's very easy to talk about this, but when it comes to papers, I will put a tweet from Rafael Seri about some how many papers how papers look like. They say like our paper is global analysis with a global group of authors. And you only see like you know like some wealthy authors. This is really upsetting for people from poor areas. Like me. But we see this all the time, you know, like we should like acknowledge the problem. we should like say that in our papers. Like if you like keep ignoring or pretending that the problem doesn't exist, it will never be changed. So we should try different solutions. Really, one tool will not solve all. No, this is a very complex topic with like many different layers. And people both from the global north and global south should work to solve this. You know that like one group here like is responsible. We should all work to solve this because we all need this. The planet needs this. Like the planet is changing very fast, and we need to understand the size of the change and ways to prevent this and the impacts. We like really need this. So I want to thank to many. Like here is some of the people that like really educated me on this topic. Like on some of these discussions, like get like pretty tense pretty fast. You know, like when you are somewhere from the global south, you know, privilege of some people, you know, like it's tense. But we need to talk and we need to avoid fights. You know, like we need to have like a good like a dialogue on this. Like the world needs it. We like we all agree. People like agree on this. So we should keep working on this. I also learned a lot from working with the BS, which is like an amazing like organization. IBES, which has like a really a good model of how science should be done. For example, they limit only like a third of the authors on every EU report come from the global north, which is like a really good like representation. So 2/3 of IBES authors come from the global south, which is I think that pretty good. And of course, Twitter, where most of these discussions how good, which I have been great to like educate me on this. And now I think I will take questions, and yeah, we can continue this on Twitter also. This is my name there, my handle.
Great. Thank you, Martin. That was a really interesting talk, and it's given us a lot to reflect on. We've got so many questions, so I will go by what has been most upvoted by the participants. So the first question is from Jonathan Wood. Getting away from helicopter science, what are the most important things in working with local researchers and building capacity?
Yeah, I think like for example, I see now like very easy to see papers with many co-authors, no? I would love to see more like leadership given to people from the global south, no? Like chances of like developing other ideas. Like asking someone to send you a data is great. I mean, it's like a first step, you know, like to start these things. But giving like a leadership, like okay, which idea are you going to answer? Like let me help you. You know, giving these tools to me like will be like a huge step forward.
Thank
you.
You.
I many things to do, but this is one that I've been thinking a lot lately.
So the next question we have comes from Rob Salguero Gomez. He said, thanks for talking about this important topic, particularly because he knows that the British Ecological Society is devoted to improving representativity of ecological voices worldwide. I think that any support that can be given to non-native English speakers when preparing a manuscript is great. He also thinks that the journey of applied ecology would also benefit from unconscious bias training. What are your thoughts on things that the British Ecological Society can continue to do to improve welcoming the best ecological research? So regardless of mother tongue or geographic region.
Yeah, that's like it's really important. Like I heard a lot about that. Like we have now like recent paper like definitely totally on that topic. And but like based on my conversations, I think like what the BS should do, like and I don't know how hard it would be, like is to provide a free like editorial service to like other native speakers, no, like to avoid this first filter, no, like I'm sure that like soon like Google will be great, will be like amazing translations. But for now, I think societies should spend some of their money into helping people translate or fix other English. That is expensive and takes time. But society has to do a lot on that, and I think I think it will happen, and it could be a huge like a game changer. Hopefully.
The next question we have comes from Barbara Bomfin. Is there a specific reason why double-blind review is not the norm? And also, do you know if there are journals reinforcing minimal rules for global data synthesis? For instance, search for data and papers must be in at least 3 languages or more.
Yeah, that will be, yeah. Like the second part, that will be great. Like I think should do that. It's not easy to do that. No, like for example, working with NIPBES, and we trying to get data from Asia, and I'm not that I don't speak like any like Asian language. So like we should find like other collaborators there. Yeah, it's not easy, but like I would love to see that happening. No, and the first question was about. The first part was about
the first part was about specific reasons why double-blind review is not the norm.
Double-blind, like I have like mixed feelings about double-blind. In a way, like avoid like many biases. But if you see a paper which has like many typos in English, it's really very easy for someone to have the same bias as if they read the name Martin Nuñez. No, in it, no, like it's very easy to guess. And people, when you do like a double blind, they guess a lot, and that I don't know how that plays. I rather be as a reviewer, like do an extra effort to help someone from like a really understudied region than do like the double blind, assuming that they are all equal, because they are not all equal, no. So I think like I rather like know what, like how to help people.
Thank you. The next question we have comes from Emily Amy. She says, from an editor's perspective, why do you think there is such discrepancy in acceptance rates between the global North and global South authors?
That's a complex question, and I don't want to offend anybody with my answer. But like there are basically 2 problems here: biases and quality. They are like like they are 3 and style. 3 things. Biases, some people have a very like deep bias against people from some regions. Like I don't know why, but this thing happen. Like another well. Then the quality issue. Like some areas like have like more resources. To do like a deep analysis on things, like bigger sampling, more like novel like techniques. And another styles, like which I think like it's a big problem that like some people like some regions like I want to focus on local problems, and others like I want to talk about the entire planet. So and perhaps the same data, no. So how you sell, how you prepare your paper like really changes like regions. Like I remember like when I first moved to the US. People like sometimes like use them as like I'm the world expert on this topic. You will never hear that in Argentina, like someone claiming to be the world expert on something, but in the US it's very common to that. And I'm not judging, but like like I'm the world expert on this topic. Like, wow, interesting, like people can say that, and they are okay with that. And that's right, but others are more, others the word is modest or less able to like extrapolate or whatever. But like our differences in ways we present our research that act also as barriers.
Thank you. Our next question comes from Kathleen Dara. Given the history of colonial research in many countries, it seems likely that we as field researchers may encounter mistrust or hesitancy while trying to form these new collaborations. Do you have any advice on gaining trust and building collaborations?
Yeah, I think I can see the point, but yeah, like if you're working like in an area like many years, I think people likely wanna work with you, like it's not like you should like with time you should gain your confidence, like you should invite them to be part of your idea, etc. Be part of the papers, like collaborators, helping, like taking them accordingly. There are like how many things that really useful, but like making them like 2 partners in this research will make really happy on this.
Thank you. The next question is from Pippa Gillingham. Have you considered the barrier of perceived safety or difficulty to work in some countries and how this could affect the likelihood of inverse helicopter science?
Yeah, of course, like, you know, like the world, there are wars, or some areas where like kidnapping is very common. Yeah, no, yeah, that's like I wouldn't, you know, like I wouldn't send my students to some areas that like in a war. But you know, like, if you like, but it's not that like, the entire world is unsafe. You know, like you have again, if you can have like a local partners that can help you like move around, it can be like super safe. You know, like safer than some like areas in some wealthy countries. You know, but you need to have a lot of local help. And for that, they need to trust you, and it's all this circle. No?
The next question is from Scott Clark. Would there be a benefit in a mechanism for graduate students from different countries to collaborate apart from the interactions PIs may have?
Yeah, for sure. No, students, you know, like are the future. No, like, and we need I have to work a lot more on that. You know, like working, like, for example, like fellowships, where students can move. Like going to the previous question, if you befriend someone from an area that I want to do research and make this person like your collaborator, then it's like super easy to work in that area, no? Because you have a local there. So like I think this like interactions, if they are done properly, will be like really good. And yeah, I think that could be like really amazing solution, not to bring students like from one area to the other, etc. Like that can be like really amazing. I could make change like in years, no, fast.
Yeah, I think international collaboration is so essential and so key for us to really decolonize ecology. The next question is from Cher Chow. On the note of funding barriers, has there been a way to factor the effect of brain drain, pushing scientists originating from global south to be based or published from these more dominant research countries?
Yeah, it's complex, this topic. You know, did have many prizes that like finish the research like in the UK or in the US. No, I think like again, like we should all work on this. No, like I think another thing is like a huge role of these people from like poor areas going into rich areas, like to help, you know, this like the regional areas. No, I see that in ecology all the time. You know, people that's based in the US or Europe that work in Africa, like or in America, and that's like really helpful. You know, like we shouldn't shy away of resources. No, we should work all towards the same goal. Yeah.
One of the things I always say is that talent is evenly distributed, but opportunity is not.
Exactly. Yeah.
The next question, which is more of a statement that I'd really like your comment on, comes from Flavia Costa. So they said they didn't see much in this talk about building the collaborations from the start as equal partnerships, making this explicit, having protocols of how to deal with sharing of responsibilities and results and publications. As a researcher in the South, they see that researchers from the North come with their mind already made up about how collaboration should be, and they don't ask or make the engagement to understand what researchers in the South really want.
Yeah, for sure. No, we need like a bit like conversation, this talk was like actually short. I couldn't go into details, but yeah, we should work as partners, not as equals. That's basic, and that's like not the most common thing as this person was saying, like something that happens all the time is that, you know, like the person from the wealthy country or the wealthy school has the money, and because of that make the decisions. No, this is something like very like hard to fix, because the person with the money like has last word on things. So it gets complex. Ideally, you know, like we will work as equals, and I need to fix that. I think that this like unbalance, like in the resources, like really like percolate into the collaborations, and the person with the money like make the decisions. And we should change that somehow not the easiest, but really we should do that. You know, the locals should have a say on things.
We have time for, we have time for a couple more questions. So the next one is from Stephen Pennings. How could global networks such as NutNet do a better job filling in geographic gaps? Is the problem a lack of scientists or a lack of funding in gap locations? And there would be a different solution depending on the reason for gaps.
Yeah, no, yeah. I love, and then I know that I do like a big effort to reach this areas, and I think like in many cases it's a mix of things, no? Like it's you know, like the lack of like researchers, but there are always researchers like in some areas. Perhaps the stimulus, no? Perhaps the like a nature paper is not you know what drive this local researcher to do science, no? So perhaps like understanding what is the currency of like of these like different people, it could really help them. No? Perhaps I don't know. Perhaps thereafter, no, education opportunities, kind of thing. So like I don't know. Perhaps a change of students to be more appealing than a paper in nature science. No, I don't know. Like we also struggle with that like networks that I'm part, and it's super hard. No. But yeah, I don't know. We should keep trying solutions. Yeah.
And so we're going to take our final question now. This comes from Patricia Landverd. So she said, you mentioned the bias of publication areas, and part of that is also due to the availability of funding. But big funding institutions just want to give money for big ideas. So these ideas do not necessarily have to be developed in specific places in the world. So while it's true, the tropics, for example, are little explored, and there is a lot of information that is being left out and can be vital to complement those ideas, what can be done about these funding institutes?
Yeah, that's a complex topic, and yeah, we need like a lot of global, no, like funding for ecology, you know, like there is some of the BS has like grants that are global, but you know, like are not huge and are not like so widespread. I think like yeah, we need to like a problem with that is you know, like science like sometimes like what is like this a big questions are kind of like a fashion thing, no? Like it change with time, no? It's not perhaps the most important thing, but like what you know like what happens, you know, like in one area, you know, like that making progress, but perhaps important questions are different than it's like you know, like big questions or trendy topics. So it's complex that, you know, like how we evaluate that. Like it's all about, you know, like grants, reviewers, etc. You know, like that. You know, like we should all keep this in mind, that perhaps something that look, you know, like too local in a place, too fundamental for a place and others, no. So we should keep an eye on that, like mostly for applied ecology. Really key.
Thank you. There are still so many questions and some really good ones, but unfortunately we're just not going to have time to get through them all.
We should follow this on Twitter.
Yes, exactly. So I was going to say to anyone else who haven't had their questions answered, you can ask these questions to Martin on Twitter. So that brings us to the end of Ecology Live, and just another huge thank you to Martin and to everyone for joining this talk. And we're now just going to share some slides. So next week at the same time, we'll have Tadashi Fukami from Stanford University, who will share his research about flowers as islands. So if you're watching this recording on YouTube, but would like to join a future talk, make sure you are registered for the Ecology Live on the events page of their website. As I mentioned, I'm from the BAME Ecologist Network. So we are a relatively new network that was only set up in October 2020. At present, we are actually looking to have a name change. So we aim to support minorities within ecology, but we like to do this globally. And at the moment, we feel BAME is a very UK-based terminology. So do keep an eye out. You can get involved and you can join our network if you just check out the link below. And then finally, I'll leave you with the details of an offer from the sponsor of today's Ecology Live talk, and that's Oxford University Press. You can use the discount code on this slide and in the chat to receive 30% off their Ecology Live reading list, which includes Rewilding, India's Experiments in Saving Nature. So just to say a big thank you again to Martin and to all of you for joining. Do ask any follow-up questions to Martin and do feel free to check out the BAME Ecological Network. Thank you.